This is the Anna Gale Lines Podcast, where we equip you with the tools and insights to take charge of your life and thrive. And here is your host, life coach and author, Anna Gale Lines.
Welcome to the Anna Gale Lines Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Gale Lines. What if I told you that some of life's most profound moments are found not in the company of others, but in the quiet embrace of solitude? Welcome to today's journey, a celebration of the art of doing things alone. In a world that often emphasizes togetherness, there's a unique beauty in discovering the power and joy of your own company. Many shy away from solo adventures, associating them with loneliness, but today we'll explore the liberating experience of solitude and how it can be a gateway to self-discovery and personal growth. It's in these moments of solitude that our thoughts speak louder, our dreams take shape, and our souls find peace. Join me as we delve into the fascinating world of solitary pursuits, from the joy of savoring a meal alone to the thrill of exploring new paths without a companion. We'll uncover the creativity that flourishes in solitude, the profound moments of introspection, and the freedom of embracing your own rhythm without the influence of others. So whether you're an introvert seeking solace or an extrovert curious about the untapped treasures of solitude, this journey is for you. Let's redefine the narrative surrounding solo experiences and discover the immense richness found in the art of doing things alone. Welcome to a world where solitude isn't about being alone, but about finding yourself in the most unexpected moments. So, I am all about doing things alone. People ask me, don't you get lonely? No. I spent 16 years taking care of my mother. I was controlled and manipulated by her. She had to know where you were at all times. She had to approve what you did. If she didn't approve what you did, she would manipulate you into doing things her way. She would punish you emotionally and mentally until you did what she wanted. So for me, now, I find doing things on my own refreshing. I've discovered who I am and who I want to be and who I am supposed to be. I've discovered what I like and what I don't like. I've discovered what I want to pursue and what I don't want to pursue. I've discovered talents that I had that I didn't even know I had. But because I was in that situation, I didn't get to explore who I am. So I'll have people now, I'll tell them I'm going to the movies by myself or I'm eating alone, and they're like, oh, that's so sad. No, it's not. I like being alone. I like socializing with people, but it drains me. Even though I'm extroverted at work and I talk a lot, I'm an introvert at heart because it drains me to be around people for too long of a period of time, and I have to come home and recharge my batteries. I have to recharge just like your phone has to charge in order to get energy. So I like doing things alone. I will take trips alone. I went to Vegas for my 50th birthday, which was a few months ago, alone. I have gone to Fresno recently to go to a concert alone. I have been to many airports alone, got on many planes alone. I have, gone to many locations that I wanted to go alone. And I like it. I like being alone. What are some reasons people have for not liking doing things alone? One of them is the fear of being alone. One of them is a lack of confidence in their past experiences. Like, when I was in high school, I didn't want to be alone. I wanted to be with the group. I didn't want to eat lunch alone because there's such a stigma around eating alone when you're in high school and when you're in junior high school. But you find as you go along, it is a rewarding experience to be in your own company. They also feel bored or restless when they're alone. There's a social stigma around it, like I said. They depend on others. They don't want to step out of their comfort zones. It's a lack of enjoyment being by themselves. There's safety concerns. There are, but there's ways to minimize that. And they desire validation. So what are some benefits to doing things alone? Well, you get a sense of enhanced self-confidence. It's reduced emotional turmoil because you become in a stable mental state. And you do this because you get to know yourself. There's financial freedom in doing things on your own because you're the only one who decides what's going to happen with your money. There's a boost self-esteem because you're being self-reliant and independent. You reduce stress because you don't have to worry about what other people think and what other people do and whether they're going to show up on time. You improve your decision-making skills because you are in charge. Nobody else is in charge. Nobody else is going to make the decision whether you're going to pay your bills or whether you're going to put the money in savings or you're going to buy that new laptop you've been looking at. You're the only one in charge of your decisions. You also have time for reflection. You get to know yourself. You get to know who you are and what you're about. And you successfully navigate the outer world. Because what if you were stuck someplace without your companion, without your friends? You were stuck in an airport someplace. How are you going to get home? If you have the skills to have done things on your own before, you'll be able to get out of that situation more readily. It builds your confidence and it helps you grow personally. So what are some tips for doing things alone? Well, start small. Begin with activities you feel comfortable doing alone, like reading or going for a walk or painting or writing in your journal or going to lunch or shopping alone. Enjoy solitude. Embrace being alone. Look at it as an opportunity to recharge, to reflect on your own thoughts. You might want to take your journal and go to the park and start writing out all your thoughts about life and about being alone and about the people in your life and what you want to do with your life. You might discover new hobbies. So you might explore interests independently from anybody else. So you might take a class in painting. You might go to a sculpture class, or you might learn how to write. You might take up an instrument, such as the guitar or the piano. You might explore things that you've always wanted to do but never had time to do. And you might meet new friends at these classes. You might take up new hobbies and watch YouTube videos about them and learn that way if you don't have the money to go to classes. Although there's a lot of parks and recreation classes that you could go to for fairly cheap. There's some at the community center. And you might want to plan a solo trip. Where's a place that you've always wanted to go but you've never gone because nobody wants to go with you? Seattle or Nashville or New York, or maybe you want to venture out and go to Paris. But if nobody wants to go with you, why don't you go on your own? Plan that trip. Plan for the airfare and plan for a hotel and plan for what you're going to do there and plan when you're going to do it and take time off to do it. You'll find that traveling solo becomes an addiction. I would rather travel solo because I'm not waiting on people. I'm not waiting on the person to arrive at the airport. I'm not waiting for the other person to catch the flight. I'm not waiting on other people. And I don't have to get 2 seats together. I could just get the 1 seat. I like doing things on my own. I like going on solo trips. I like to go where I want to go and do what I want to do because for so long I couldn't. You might want to think about going to the movies alone. I love doing this because if I don't want to go see the movie you want to go see, and you don't want to go see the movie I want to go see, why can't I just go to the movie I want to see and you go to the movie you want to see? Then we'll meet up afterwards to have lunch or dinner or whatever and talk about the movies we saw. So I went to Ricky and the Flash by myself because none of my friends love Rick Springfield as much as I do, but I love him, so I went to go see this movie with him and Meryl Streep. And I went by myself. I like going by myself because I can get up and go to the restroom when I have to, and I don't have to tell anybody. I can sit where I want to sit. I can get the snacks that I want to get. And I can watch the movie that I want to watch. And if I want to rock back and forth in the seat, I want to laugh, I don't have to worry about what the other person is thinking. And then we need to practice self-compassion. We need to be kind to ourselves and acknowledge the courage it takes to do things solo. So even if it's just going on the bus for the first time, or going on a train for the first time, or going on a plane for the first time, or going to the store by yourself, or going to the mall by yourself to people watch. Maybe it's going to Starbucks by yourself. You need to acknowledge that takes courage in order to do that alone. Because there's many people who are coupled who will look at you and think, how sad that person is eating alone or having coffee alone. And then we need to attend events alone. So I went to Fresno in September for a concert. Rick Springfield, of course. And I went to this concert, and the woman sitting next to me asked me if I was there alone. And I said, yes, I'm here alone. I always go to these events alone because I haven't found anybody who likes Rick Springfield to accompany me, so I do this alone. And she said she does it alone because her family does not understand her love of Rick Springfield. She's been to like 500 concerts, and he's played an important part in her life. And I understood what she was saying because just like him, I've had depression, and his music got me through the depression and periods of depression. And I understand that. We come to these concerts alone because other people don't understand. But I don't only go to concerts by myself, which I've been to plenty of concerts by myself. I also go to the mall by myself, or I go to events by myself. I volunteer by myself. And then we need to take off the stigma of eating alone. I will go to a restaurant and I will actually say, table for one, and people are like, nobody else is with you? No, nobody else is with me. In fact, I think we need to stop asking that question. But I sit there, I will eat what I want to eat, I will do what I want to do, I will listen to my music, I will watch whatever I want to watch, and I get to have the experience of being by myself. I am comfortable being by myself. I find that a lot of people who do not want to do things on their own and by themselves is because they are not comfortable being by themselves. And that right there is why they should be by themselves more often. They should be by themselves because they're not looking for validation from somebody else. They're not looking for somebody to be their companion. They're not depending on somebody else. Because when we depend on somebody else, they're going to eventually leave us. And we're going to be by ourselves. So you can also create a bucket list. Activities you want to do in your life. Imagine that you're 100 years old and you're looking back at your life. What are those things that you would have wanted to do? Are those things that you would have regretted doing? Make a list of those things and do them. Do them alone. So let's say you want to climb a mountain. Go rock climbing. Take it step by step, but until you eventually go and climb that mountain. You want to write a novel. Take it one page at a time, one word at a time, one sentence at a time, until you've got that novel. You want to go to Disneyland and nobody wants to go with you. Go by yourself. Create a bucket list of things you want to do and then check them off as you do them. And we can learn from others, how others have done things solo. We could watch videos about people who travel solo, about people who are, doing things on their own, building their businesses, checking things off of their bucket lists alone. And then we need to stay open-minded to unexpected experiences when we're doing things alone. And we need to embrace spontaneity, because when we are always following the rules and always planning things out, we don't have time to do spur of the moment things, experiences that you're going to not regret doing. Whether that's, you're going for a hot air balloon ride, or you're, going to a simulator to go pretend to fly a plane, learn how to fly a plane, and maybe that leads to you having a desire to learn how to fly a plane. We have to watch for these opportunities that pop up in our lives and take them, because we never know that maybe those are things we were supposed to do, but we didn't know anything about them. And then we need to practice mindfulness. We need to stay in the moment. We need to practice solitude and be alone with our own thoughts. A few minutes a day, be alone with your thoughts. Let your mind race and see where it goes and what your mind comes up with. And then we need to do solo activities, like going to play basketball on our own, going bowling on our own, doing physical things like taking a walk or taking a kickboxing class on our own. So we need to journal, and we need to write down our experiences and what we have learned from doing things solo, so that we can learn about ourselves and chronicle our adventures. And then we need to have a self-date day. So Julia Cameron talks about in The Artist Way about having an artist date, where you take your inner artist out for a date once a week and you do something special. So you could do that with yourself. You could be in a relationship, you can have family, and you can have kids and things you've got to do with your life responsibilities. But once a week, take yourself out for a self-date. Even if it's just going to lunch at a restaurant you've never been to before, Maybe it's going to the movies by yourself. Maybe it's going to a concert by yourself. Maybe it's going to a kickboxing class by yourself. But take a day to nurture your well-being and be alone with you. And then you might want to capture your alone time with pictures. You might want to take pictures of that restaurant you went to. You take pictures of the city you went to. Might want to take pictures of you doing a kickboxing class to chronicle your time. And you might find that you like photography. And then you might want to go explore nature. Spend time outside alone, connecting with nature, maybe gardening, or maybe rock climbing, or climbing a mountain, or, maybe you want to go camping on your own. And then you might want to volunteer for causes that are near and dear to your heart. Maybe you want to go serve Christmas dinner at St. Vincent de Paul or Salvation Army. Maybe you want to go volunteer to be a guide at the museum. Maybe you want to volunteer to be a usher at a theater. Maybe you want to volunteer at the police department. Maybe you want to volunteer to take care of the children at your church. But the point is, we need to start doing things on our own to nurture ourselves and to learn about ourselves and to learn who we are and who we want to become. And then we need to travel alone. Take that trip you've always wanted to take. Take it alone. It fosters independence. And take photographs of that place that you decide to go to. And then we need to embrace the uncomfortable moments, because inevitably there are going to be uncomfortable moments doing things on your own, and where you're going to wish that you had somebody with you. But you are learning to be you. You are learning to be independent. You are growing as a person, and you're learning to be resilient. So as we conclude our journey into the art of doing things alone, take a moment to ponder the richness of the solitude of your own life. Remember, embracing solitude doesn't mean being alone in this journey. Hit that subscribe button, and together, let's explore the world within and around us. Thank you for embarking on this exploration with us. Your courage to embrace solo moments fosters personal growth. Keep discovering the magic that's in your own company and continue crafting your own story.
You have been listening to the Anna Gale Lines podcast. If you'd like to learn more about Anna Gale, you can go to annagalelines.com. It's ANNAGAILLYNES.com. And there you can download 2 free chapters of her book Unshakable Purpose. And you can also download her latest science fiction mystery novel called The Last Chance Station for free. You can also buy her fiction and nonfiction books on the website, Amazon, BN.com, Lulu, and many other online outlets. Sign up for the newsletter to keep updated as to what's going on in the world of the Anna Gale Lines podcast and Space-Tastic Mysteries podcast, her fiction podcast where you can hear installments of her novels. To follow her on social media, Lady Anna Gale on TikTok, Anna Gale Lines on Twitter, and Anna Gale Lines Artist on Instagram. Join our Facebook page at facebook.com/author Anna Gale. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being you.